spin on this campaign, and they're calling it the hunt for the nine. No, I don't know whether that's euphemism for you getting, getting targeted or having your backs with bullseye targets, correct? Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we'd like to present our candidates for the board of directors. And please note that tonight is not yet the time you will be voting, but this is the time you get to know them. And after this, they can actually go on their own and start campaigning personally, calling people, texting, emailing, using Facebook, and what have you, in order to come up with the best result for the election, which will happen next month. Okay, so we will be calling our candidates, and the order by which they will be called is by alphabetical order by company. Okay, so company name. Okay, so that's clear, Joe. Huh? I mean, it's company name. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, first up. So, how many chairs do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we have our current president, Mr. Benedict Hernandez. You know him so well from Accenture. Managing director, and has been in the business for the last 15 years. Wow. Okay, please take your seat, Mr. Hernandez. Candidate Hernandez. Candidate number 1. You know, I have this recollection still of the last Miss World Philippines. So, okay. Candidate number 2. Doesn't sound too good, no? Okay. So our next candidate is Mr. Dana Andel from Acquire BPO. Unfortunately, he is not able to make it today, but he's the country manager for Acquire. So I'm sure everybody knows him. Okay. And our next candidate, Mr. Danny Cuevas. Okay, I understand he is still on his way. He's driving. He's not anticipating anything. He's on his way to this location. And he's the president of Capstone, and it's been in the industry for the past 6 years. And our next candidate, ladies and gentlemen, is Ms. Ivy Mueco from Convergys. She's the vice president and country manager. Ms. Ivy. I don't see her. All right. Our next candidate to join Benedict on stage is none other than the legendary Jojo Uligan, who is now the general manager of Puro Technica. Okay. Gen Y? I kind of doubt that. Close to a baby boomer, maybe. Okay. So, okay, our next candidate representing the SME side of the business is Mr. Brian Hernandez from East and West Corporation. Unfortunately, he's unable to make it. His company is actually based in San Pablo, Laguna. Okay. Our next candidate is Mr. Bong Bora, returning from Expert Global Solutions. Mr. Bong Bora, I will not mention the length of time you've been in the business. I still would like to have my bonus. Okay. Next candidate. Okay, from GenPac, ladies and gentlemen, a current board member, country head of GenPac, Mr. Don Reyes. You look good on TV, sir. Boss, when I saw you on ABS-CBN. Oh yeah, I know. That's why it's a few months, a couple of months away. So I have to suck it up, for the team. All right. Okay. Next. All right, we have Sheila Arbulante from Globe. Okay, thank you very much for sponsoring our general membership meeting. She's the manager, market development, enterprise group, enterprise marketing of Globe. Okay, 19 years in the business. Hello. Yeah. I use Globe. Okay, so my mobile is Globe. I have to suck it up. Okay. All right. No, there's no PLDT right now. Oh, there is. Okay. All right. Next candidate is Miss Ai Campos from Infosys. Okay, she's the country head of Infosys, Miss Ai Campos. We enjoyed your game during the last summit. Okay. Next candidate, we have Miss Josephine Agregado of Intellicare. Let's not forget the RN, registered nurse. Okay, ABB for membership services from Intellicare. Okay, so we're all safe, if we suddenly collapse, we have Intellicare. Okay, I hope we still have seats. Okay. Next, we have Mr. Manuel Diver Lopez. Unfortunately, he's not able to come today. But you know him, everybody knows him. He's from Pacific Hub. And our next candidate also from PLDT, Mr. Mitch Locsin, won't be able to attend, but I guess he's in the US. Okay. He can call. Okay. Collect. He has a video. Is that fair? Oh, no, that's okay. All right. Next, we have our next candidate from Sky Biz, John Arayata, Sky Cable, but he's in Cebu. Okay. Is that a pitch not to? Okay. Next candidate, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Romel Regino from SPI Global. All right. Everybody knows Mr. Regino. No need for further introduction. Okay? And next candidate. Oh. Wow. Do they have to sit in front? Ice bucket challenge. So there's so many of you to do the ice bucket. Okay. Okay, let's do it this way. I mean, let's have the rest stand behind. Is that fair? Is it okay? All right? Or we can squeeze in. So the next is Mr. Brad Norman from Taking You Forward. Brad. And our next candidate, okay, from Teleperformance, Mr. Steve Emerson. He's the Executive Vice President. All right. Okay. Next candidate, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mikey Ocampo from Filipinas Teleserve. Our next candidate is Mr. Roger Salazar from United Health Group, the President and Country Head of United Health Group. Okay, very good company. All right. Next is Mr. Butch Valenzuela from Visaya KPO. All right, Mr. Butch. Okay. All right. Can we have the microphones available? We have microphones there. The two wireless microphones. Can we have them here? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be asking our candidates some short questions, and we expect very short answers. And after one or two rounds, we'll open up the floor for the members of the audience to ask their questions directly to our candidates. All right. Let me start the question. I'd like to throw in the question to a newbie, a first-time candidate. You may start, Mr. Since you have the microphone, Mr. Mikey.
I can give it to somebody else.
No. You have the floor. Okay. The first question is this. Okay. And any one of you can actually, jump in and respond to the same question. Mr. Mikey, what motivated you to run? To cast in your name and say, I want to run as a member of the board of CCAP. What's your motivation?
I've been in the industry for 15 years. I've seen it grow from 7 member companies all the way to what it is now. I've developed a vision for the industry, the way CCAP has grown, to make the CCAP the umbrella organization for the contact center industry in the Philippines, and most importantly, to gain recognition of the country as the contact center capital of the world.
Okay, very good. Miss Ani, you have the microphone and your mic too.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My answer is very short, right? So I think this board has always been an all-gentleman board. I think it's time to diversify.
Okay, so a very gender-friendly response.
Women deliver.
Yeah, I think we agree. Okay, Miss Sheila, okay?
So thank you for that statement. With that, I second the motion. I'm actually new to the process, and I bravely took the challenge because the industry is very close to the heart of Globe Telecom. And we've also witnessed several milestones of the industry in the country. And it's about time, and it's high time to actually take a big step in terms of intensifying our engagement with the association. So I'm here, and we look forward to engaging with the board and the association and member companies. So we hope na we'll have a chance in the board. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right. I'd like to ask Steve, why are you running?
Same question.
Same question. Why are you
I
running?
guess there's two reasons. One is my role's given me the bandwidth to do it as I've gotten out of operational management and daily commercial management. I've got the bandwidth to take on more, and I didn't want to take the role as a token directorship and not devote any time to it. So I have that. And second, I think that the larger companies within the contact center space haven't supported this organization and association as much as we should have. And I think we can bring a lot of power to bear to address a lot of the challenges that we collectively face.
Okay, very good answer. I'm gonna switch to another question, and this time, if you may pass the microphones to our returning candidates, those who have already served, actually are serving. And the question is this: why do a do-over? Why do a second time? A second time or a third time? Anybody from the current board members? Mr. Butch?
Currently, I am the head of the SME Council for CCAP. I'm also the board had nominated me as the CFO of CCAP 2 years ago by default. But I guess the job is not done yet. There is a lot of work to still do. My organization, we are a small company, and we are starting to grow and hopefully be a good player in this industry. And to be part of the board actually has helped us, and me personally, from a growing company perspective, to be a recognized, credible player in this industry. So, just a lot more work to do, and be happy to do it.
Okay, same question to Bong, Mr. Bong.
Yeah, so for me, I think our being old in this industry allows us to build on the existing, to leverage on the relationships we built over time, both within and within the industry and outside our industry, including government. So we built that over time, we've nurtured it, and I think we can still take advantage of it. Secondly, I've had this unique experience, I guess, last year when we did a big rescue, relief, and relocation effort for our team in Lake, close to 1,000 people. And I'd like to again leverage on that and hopefully bring to fruit for our industry the experience that we've gathered there, so we can better prepare the industry for events like this, considering that our weather is becoming wacky worldwide, and it's bound to happen again. So I'd like to leverage on that. Thanks.
Okay, one more current board member can answer the same question.
Yep. So I'll follow that through. I guess being mature.
Or a veteran.
And I think for me, I follow two themes in the in being a board member over the last 6 years, which is essentially relevance and support. Relevance, I say, is that our association would like to actually provide our members with relevant programs and programs to be able to actually really represent the membership to the business community and to the government and to the other stakeholders. And support, I think, is following through with what Bong mentioned. I think we've been able to really nurture those relationships with both the private and the public sector in order for us to be able to ensure the growth of the industry as well as the relevance of the association.
Okay, thank you so much. I'd like to ask another a third question, and this time I'd like to address it to Ms. Josephine. Okay. All right. So your organization is quite new with the Contact Center Association. So how do you see yourself as a newbie? What kind of contributions can you make?
Okay, for healthcare, our advocacy is to contribute to support this industry because we believe that there is no successful business if you have a sickly workforce. So IntelliCare is here to partner you to promote and contribute to the cost management of your company. Cost management in terms of healthcare management.
All right, do we all get a discount? Scratch that. Okay, Mr. Reino. Okay. The question is, and anybody can actually also respond to this question. Assuming you get elected as a member of the board and you will serve a 2-year term, what kind of legacy do you wish to leave behind?
So, a couple of things.
What do you want to be remembered by?
Okay. I've been in the industry for the last 14 years. I saw CCAP. I was one of those proponents, founding members, actually, when CCAP was still in its infancy. And I'm now in an organization that probably was born here in the Philippines in 1986, and over 20,000 employees that truly showcase the Filipino talent. And I think, I want to make sure that when I get elected, we continue to be at the forefront, be ahead of the outsourcing space. And secondly is, I'm able to contribute to something that is probably really close to our hearts, which is probably, developing talent and retaining them. And that's probably what I'd like to contribute.
All right, very good. Same question to Mr. Salazar. If you're elected, what legacy would you like to leave behind?
We're a new member of CCAP,
Yes.
and we're part of the healthcare organization. But we see a lot of opportunity in combining voice and healthcare. It's such a powerful combination. I think that's why it's one of the largest growing sectors. So we're a member of that. We're a participant of that, and we want to build and grow that. It's a niche within voice. The combination of healthcare and voice, clinical and voice, is such a powerful combination. We have 25% of our annual graduates are healthcare related. Such a big combination we're not able to tap. I think it would provide another curve. If for the voice, it would provide another window opportunity for growth. The other angle we really want to push is tier 2 and tier 3. I'm sure many of our colleagues here have been pushing tier 3. I really want to push that because we see a lot of opportunity for growth beyond the metro areas.
All right, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Danny Cuevas, of President of Capstone. He's also a candidate. Mr. Cuevas, a surprise for you, you have to sit in front. Yes. Okay. Round of applause for Mr. Cuevas. Okay. All right. Brad, I'd like to ask you this question. You've been a CCAP member for about a year or two?
3 years.
3 years, okay. Okay. What is the one thing? The question is, what is the one thing you wish to change in whatever you see?
Okay.
Why?
The one thing I'd like to see changed or implemented is how we treat regional potential CCAP members and CCAP members. For instance, if one of my the reasons why I'm here is simply because I would love to be instrumental in setting up a Cebu chapter of CCAP. I personally believe it would be very significant for CCAP as an entirety. There is potentially a lot of people outside of Manila who find it very difficult to travel to Manila. They don't have the time, and we could literally replicate what we do here in Cebu. I'm based in Cebu, and I make the effort to come up here on a very regular basis, and quite frankly, sometimes if you don't book ahead, it gets very expensive. You nearly pay Western air flights, flight rates. So, if we can do that, I know, personally, I know probably at least 12, 15 potential members that would join if we had a CCAP chapter. So this is what I'm here and I'm trying to do, and so I'm appealing to your good nature and your fairness to broaden the whole CCAP experience, and please help us to do that. I'm based in Cebu, and I'll be very determined to make sure that that happens in that sense. Like Butch, we're only I'm an SME centre. We run a small 600-seat call centre, and unfortunately, next to the gentleman next to me, Steve, that's like a little canteen staff. So, but SMEs seem to be can do, will do, and do people. So, given the challenge of setting up a chapter in Cebu, I would gladly embrace it and hell or high water bring it to fruition. Thank you.
Okay, so I would assume that it's something that you would attempt to lead. Okay, all right. Same question to the person who has the microphone, Mr. Danny Cuevas. I'm sorry, but you have the mic. The question is, you've known CCAP for a long time already, Mr. Danny, and what's the one thing that you want to change about the organization, about the association?
I believe in observing and learning before you start talking. So it's kind of unfair that you step in and all of a sudden you have this slew of programs that you'd like to implement, not knowing the background to some things. So if there's something that I'd like to change, probably, and this is a way out, right? The assignment of the board is actually finite, right? So that means there's a time, they don't have the luxury of all the time to fix the problems or implement programs. So I think if I was gonna come up with a safe answer, I would say that we probably have to change priorities or have people have at least more of the members actually involved, and then plan it out, prioritize the plan, and then execute it better. And given the time that we have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cuevas. All right. I'd like to ask the next question to Jojo. and Benedict in succession. Okay, the question is, you've been in the association for many years, and you know, it's no secret that everybody knows that you've given a lot. Okay, what more can you give?
More.
What more?
Delicado.
That question is specifically designed for you.
Are you really sure you want to ask me that question?
Why not?
No, but I guess just for the information of everyone, this is actually the first time I'm running for a board seat. My seat in the board for the longest time has been because I'm the executive director, so automatically get a seat, right? So now that I joined a private company running an IT outsourcing company, and at the same time, you know, I was the honorary member of the board of directors of CCAP, and I retained the corporate secretary of CCAP until up to this time and in the next couple of months. So, same with the other. I think I'm also scared because I don't know whether you guys will vote for me as being here for the longest time, right? So, to your question, there's still a lot of things. There's so much, I guess, things we can do for this industry to make sure that we'll continue to grow further. For the longest time, we wanted all the members to get involved in all initiatives. Unfortunately, we get only a few members really getting involved, helping the association, helping join in the committees, attending meetings like this, right? We have how many members now? And I think within the room right now, it was announced with enough number of lead time, and yet there's only what, 50 companies or 60 companies tops. The best number of members who participate in our general membership meeting was around 70, 75 companies. But there's still quite a good percentage of people not showing up. And yet, you will hear some members complaining about they're not getting any benefits or sort of. But how can you get the benefits if you're not really participating? So now I guess the call and what I would probably challenge everyone is get involved. It's not about who's the board of directors, but it's about all of us working together, addressing issues of our industry. Right?
Benedict? Same question?
Jay, I don't know where you got the idea that I want to give more. No? So, but, let's assume that I want to give more.
I'm thinking in terms of.
No, for me, there's three reasons why I do and why I keep doing what I've been doing for the industry association. One is it is my personal passion to actually have been part of the beginnings of the industry and see it and be part of it and benefit so much from all that growth, you know, personally, professionally, and also amongst my colleagues. It's been a blessing for me. So it's always been a passion, or will continue to be a passion in my opinion. The two other things that I think I can say I've been able to provide is commitment and effort, and that also means time, right? So if I think about those three things, in my opinion, those make up some of the best traits of any board of trustees. Do you have the passion for the industry? Can you commit? And are you going to give time? Now, those are the minimum. I think intellectual capacity or brilliance is a given, because for you to be captains of this industry and to be a nominee in this particular stage means that you're terrifically talented, smart individuals who run your businesses. So it's not really that's going to distinguish, I think, who's going to be a really value-adding board member, but really more around passion, commitment, and effort. The reason why I think the next couple of years are going to continue to be interesting is, although we've been in the industry for many years, some of us since the beginning, 15 years plus or minus, you've seen transitions in the industry. You saw it from its infancy when we were just trying to define who we were to the rest of the world and trying to attract anybody, right, to actually come here. So that was like the proof of concept. And then we went through rapid scale and growth. And now you're looking at where do you go from here? Where do you go collectively together with the non-voice? We're 1 million people. Where do you go from 1 million at hyper growth with all of the changes in the business environment that's driven by technology, generation change, and all that? So I think despite the fact we've been around 15 years, it's actually going to be incredibly different again for the coming years, given that it's a very different environment right now. So that continues to excite me, to help figure out how we're gonna navigate to continuing success given all of these changes that are gonna happen.
Okay, thank you very much. Now I open the floor for anyone who would like to throw in a question directly to our candidates. You may now ask the questions. Okay, anyone? Anyone? Any question? Okay, if not, okay. Phone-in question, I have a phone-in question. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me ask this question. Anyone can answer. Okay, anyone can answer. And Benedict actually talked about this, and anyone of you can answer this question. How much time are you willing to give? If elected, how much time are you willing to give? Well, it's not an easy job. Yes.
Actually, I'll have a great answer to that. I'll be able to give lots of time because have you ever travelled on PAL flying from Cebu to Manila? I'm talking days here sometimes. Sitting on the tarmac for 3 hours, oh my God.
Good answer.
I'll be able to get more time.
Good answer. Mikey?
Yeah, let me follow up to what he said. I've been stuck in traffic all this while, all the time in Metro Manila.
From Quiapo.
From Quiapo, Manila, all the way here, vice versa. Thank you, Waze. Whoever made it, fantastic. You guys just have to trust what they tell you to go to. But you just lock the door wherever you pass.
Okay.
But anyway, getting back to what he said, time and commitment is there, the passion, the energy, because we're new guys coming in, willing to learn from the
veterans.
We're the rookies, and the free agents. So I guess what's important really here, and maybe a campaign slogan I'd like to say is get involved. I heard it from Jojo. That was really what I wanted to say. I've had the chance to work with the Procurement Council and some other people, and I believe the success of what they've been doing is the fact that they're all involved, spending so much time and effort in doing that. And that's really one of the things that we have to focus on. If we bring this all together, we'll beat the whole world.
Very good. Anyone? Okay.
Since
Ms. Josephine?
we accepted the nomination, so I, for one, will contribute 100% to this institution because we want to learn from your expertise, and we would also like to share our expertise in the healthcare industry.
Okay.
So we believe that really we need to support this organization because you contribute to the wealth of the country.
Okay, one more? Mr. Bong?
Two more,
okay, two more.
So I not only commit my time, my personal time, but my entire team's time. So I throw the weight of my entire team behind it and the whole of EGS as well. So the commitment is not only from myself personally.
Wow.
Actually, you beat me to it. That was exactly
Mr. Salazar.
We're a new organization, and we've been active in many of the different committees, especially the newly formed ones. We've been getting more exposure. But I think it's also partly how much you give, you also get back in a different form and shape, and it multiplies, twofold, threefold, even tenfold sometimes. So we're really committed, and we're willing to put in the investment because we think there's a lot we can contribute to the industry.
Thank you so much. I have a question passed to me, and I will read it verbatim. Okay, anyone can answer the question. It reads: is the board ready for new leadership? That is the question. Anyone? The question is the board?
I'll answer that. No, I welcome new. I welcome additional members of the board all the time, right? So I think it's great to hear new perspectives. It's great to see new energy and new enthusiasm. Also very supportive of diversity in the board. So I think they're most welcome. I think the only challenge I would have to admit for those who've been in the board for a couple of years like myself is that sometimes we already see things in a certain way. So it's great to have somebody actually come in and say, I have a different point of view, and for us to actually learn from those points.
Very good. Anyone wants to second that?
Yeah,
Mr. Cuevas?
yeah, I think the question is not
is the board ready for new leadership? I think it's the members ready for new leadership, right? Since you guys are the ones going to choose who your board will be, do you think it's time to change the leadership? You know, at least with the old leadership, I'm not part of that. Like, at least the old leadership, you've seen how they work, how they dedicated their time, their resources. You know, as a matter of fact, the only reason I took the nomination was whoever made that mistake, I needed to respect that. Okay, so somebody nominated me, so I said, I guess he was drunk or something. So I said, might as well take it. But, you know, I think if you look at it, you guys are looking for leadership, so are the old faces not good enough, or do you want to change it? But again,
as you know personally, I took the primary representation of teleperformance because I didn't think that we put our weight behind the association, and so I don't see, I guess besides Benedict, any of the top 5 BPO employers sitting here on this stage. So I think that we can give more to the board and support the industry as a whole. And so I think, you know, I didn't run the last 2 or 3 times, one because I just didn't have the bandwidth to give. But now that I do, I think it's really important that companies like Teleperformance really stand up and support the industry.
Okay, Ms. Ayu, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, so I don't think when we mean change, it means that we don't like the old one and we want a new one, right? I think, you know, we just want new perspectives and to diversify some more. Not necessarily based on gender, as what I have said at the onset, but it's also true. No, but for example, from where I'm coming from, my organization is only 30% boys, right? While I have expertise also and knowledge on the actual contact center process or piece, I have a lot to share when it comes to F&A, procurement, HRO practices, sales and fulfillment, because that's what we do. And I think, you know, it's time to diversify even from a service delivery offering and not just be focused on one aspect of the process. So I think it's good to get a lot of perspectives across the board and be able to contribute more in the growth of the industry.
Okay, Michelle, how about you?
Just going back also to the commitment. Actually, I have to say this because you're seeing me in front now as one individual. However, we as an organization in the company has sat down actually and have discussed about our engagement to be part of the board member. And everyone in the team, in the organization of Enterprise Group, is also committing in case we get a seat in the board. We've actually had initial talks with our corporate communications team, whereas there are existing and upcoming CSR programs that can have direct benefit to the contact center industry. And we wanted to sana in the world, diba, yung ating mga Filipino talents. Kasi we consider them as the prime mover of the industry. And secondary to that is the ICT as the backbone in their operational efficiencies. So as a service provider for ICT, we wanted to contribute in that advocacy of that association. Thank you.
Very well said. I'd like to remind my CCAP team to, you know, to signal me if we need to wrap up and everything. Okay?
Just
yeah,
wanted
Jojo,
to
please.
add to what the other members and candidates are saying. You know what, I guess we're one of the founding members of CCAP. We started way back in 2001. From that time to this very moment, the problem of the association is not really the board of directors who's leading it, who's elected in the board of directors, but the main problem of our association, why we can't really achieve a lot of this thing and address some of the issues is actually the participation of members. So involvement of members is very crucial. So whether you're elected in the board or not, you can still participate, you can still act as a maybe a board, you know, Because ever since CCAP, the way CCAP works, it's really about, it's not about the board really dictating to members what we will do. It's the other way around. It's the member dictating to the board what we'll be doing for the industry. The board just simply analyzing whether, what's the effect of this thing, if we're gonna be doing this, suggestion from the members, we discuss that in board meetings. If we do get a member's suggestion to do something, we evaluate and see if it's, prioritize if it's something that the industry will need. So it's more really members-driven initiative, and we need more people, not just the board to work in.
Okay, I'll pursue that point, and I will throw in this question, and anyone can answer the question. If elected, so what kind of strategies or what will you do to increase participation or engagement of the members of the association?
Free membership.
Anyone?
I guess I'll take that. As far as the organization is concerned, about 70% of the members of CCAP are really the SMEs, and we define SMEs from about 50 to about 1,500 seats. That's the majority of the people that are actually, of the companies that are actually members of CCAP. But to have, an SME council meeting, for example, and we send out invitations to all the membership. The participation really has not been there. We can fill up a room like this, but with several people, but the participants in terms of companies are concerned are, just the number of, the tables that are in here. My point is that, as everybody said here, it's all about participation, and I think what we need to do is really rally people around so that they could have the initiative, the impetus, and the will to actually devote the time to do it. And the success of this organization and ultimately a country is really in the commitment that people could actually bring.
Okay, maybe again pushing the question further. So how do we? Anyone can answer the question. How can now we rally our members to whatever programs that we want? Sir Bong.
I think just to simplify things, two things, right? One is we have to have clarity of vision. And we need to impart that to every member so we can rally people together. And the second one's even more simple. We should make it fun. And I think that in associations like this, we are so serious at times, and we're so serious at work, and getting together becomes more of a tedious task than really being a fun thing and being with friends. So I think we should instill that again.
Okay, one more, Mr. Roger?
Yeah, I'm new, so this might sound like a funny question, but do we use technology in our meetings? I mean, do we use WebEx and things like that so we can get all the other folks from other parts of the country to call in, do a PowerPoint? And I mean, I'm just thinking, sounds like a funny question, but I don't know if we use the technology for our meetings to encourage other members to participate. I mean, we do WebEx for 100,000 people. It's a big, you have a PowerPoint. Everybody gets in on the call, right? So it's cheaper for those in Cebu or what have you in other provinces. I don't know if we could use technology for meetings. Just an idea. I thought I'd bring it up. Global provide that.
Global provide.
Provide the links. Yes, of course.
All right.
We'll do the gamification.
Okay, I have a text question, and yeah, I know, and by the way it was written, I suspect this is SR because it's so long. Okay, question na lang for everyone, anonymous. One of the biggest looming concerns is the saturation and quality of candidates that we have for contact centers today. Hire rates are dropping and attrition rates are still rocky. What do you think the main problem is from from hiring and retention perspective, and what solutions do you have in place to improve this soon? As we know, clients' expectations and demands are increasing, and if the Philippines cannot cope with the question, with the change, the investor will look elsewhere. So the question really is, what are you planning to do in terms of talent, improving attrition, hiring and attrition? Anyone? Sheila, you're looking at me? Mr. Rahino.
Yeah. So, and I want to go back to one of the, probably I feel very close to my heart, around, you know, when we, you know, this industry operate in a, probably in a very siloed environment. While probably we have an association, somewhat over the years, there's still a hesitation to subscribe to something probably as a an agreement that we should have a healthy coexistence. Our attrition are driven mainly because number one, you know, either the you know, qualification is not there. But the second one, which is probably the more important one, is people just go around. You know, if we are to collect, or if we have actually a database, I'm sure they've probably been in all these companies who are seated here right now. But unless we put a little bit more of control there, I think it will continue to add to the number in terms of percentage. In terms of development, in terms of hiring, you know, the way I see it is really going to the core, going to the universities, going to the roots. And I'm hoping that this time around, with a lot of maturity and a lot of gains and contribution that this industry has done to the country, it creates finally that level of prestige that we are seeking for. And I know you're seeing it because a number of exclusive schools now are actually even offering courses specific to our needs. So, and then I know there are other items that, you know, I feel can be supported by the association. It's driven by government activities, especially developing talents outside of Metro Manila, coming into tier 3 and even tier 4 cities. So, you know, I think if we are able to capture all these points, I don't think, you know, we won't really have any problems on those two.
Benedict, you want to take a stab at the question? Or
I can take a stab, Jack.
okay, Steve.
So, well, at Teleperformance we have 37,000 people in 15 centers from Davao all the way up to Baguio. So I guess personnel issues are always on the forefront of our mind. I actually think this is the one issue that really challenges to mature as an industry. It challenges us to offer careers, not jobs, to people. It challenges us to develop people when we can't find the talent out of the box. It challenges us to work with our clients to offer second level and third level complexity of roles so that we can promote people into those roles and create environments within our centers instead of factories, like I've seen many, many times in the Philippines and other centers as well. So I think this, when we meet this challenge, and I know we all are now, I know everybody on the board here where their centers are and the amount of time and effort that they put into creating an environment and career pathing for their people. Now, I have no doubt we'll meet this challenge. And I have no doubt that we'll work with near hires and educational institutions to create that talent flow that we need. But it's really, it's a challenge that helps us mature as an industry.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm going to be asking one last, yeah, Benedict, you want to take a start?
Hey, I'll just, because it's a good question to plug in a little bit of update on many things that's happening, which is exciting. I'll plug in a few programs because I think if we pursue conversations with the different companies, I think it can really go a long way in this particular topic. Yesterday, I and a couple of more folks were in Cavite State University. We launched the very first service management laboratory, which was a joint project between CHED, BPAP, and in this case, Infosys was the sponsor. We also happened to meet the first majors of the service management program, college students that are Bachelor of Science in Management, major in service management. And that's a result of a couple of years of actually work doing previsor analysis on gaps between what we need and what the schools are giving, creating a curriculum, getting CHED to approve it, getting funding. By about next year, we'll probably see 10,000 interns actually being produced. A year after that, we'll see 20,000. The other thing that's going on is, you mentioned new hire training, which we've been doing with TESDA. We were asked, and the team actually collectively redrafted, redesigned the curriculum. The new curriculum was actually tested since a couple of months back until now. We have about 400 scholars, and the difference in this case is we actually got higher pass rate of the new hires. We got 86%. And the other more interesting thing is that they were really hires into our CCAP members. So because it was a pilot, we actually made it a closed loop system that we could track that it's not just employment anywhere, it's employment to us. That new curriculum was only recently signed by TESDA. And now they want to talk to us about the deployment for next year, which means we'll see some more funding actually doing the near program. So you have something running for a college level intervention, you have something running for those looking for work but are not hireable. And then the last thing I'll mention is we've started to actually design a pilot for the grade 11 and 12, right? So grade 11, 12 is happening. If we're reaping benefits from 500,000 university graduates, there's about 1.3 high school graduates. So the big opportunity for us is to look at an 11 and 12 path that actually meets our skills requirements. And that's already been piloted to some extent, and we're going to continue work. So I think there's some exciting work going on there, and I think it's taking it to the next level. That in maybe 1 or 2 years' time, some of our companies will say, from our recruiting report, 10% of our hires came from service management, came from TESDA, came from this. If you start to see that, that's where we know we've arrived, and that we've actually changed the way the system produces talent for our needs. But that's I'm doing that because also we always like to get partners to actually be the employers for these universities. And so far we have the usual suspects of Bong's company, strategic partner for some universities, Dan's company, so the IE's company. So what we want is more and more companies. We're also trying to reach out to Teleperformance to get connected with these projects and programs. So that's the advertisement now. So.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be asking one last question, but before I do that, one candidate is not able to come, and he actually prepared a video. My last question actually is, yeah, yes, yeah. By the way, everybody, the proceeding is on tape, and we will be posting the proceeding on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. Yeah, we do. So we'll provide you the link. Okay. Now, the question is, and I want you to think it over for the next couple of minutes. Is the question is because a seat in the board requires a great amount of leadership. Please describe the kind of leadership you will exercise using 2 adjectives. Adjective and an adjective. So that question I'm going to post after we hear from Mitch Loxin, who is unable to. Okay, take it away, Rona. Okay, I think we have a bandwidth problem. I think we have a hardware problem. Open with. Take on Mr. Rogers' suggestion. Play. Okay, there it is. We can't hear him. Okay, well, that's me. So sorry we cannot hear you. All right, to my last question.
Hi, I'm Mitch Doxin.
Okay, my last question will go from Mr. Mikey all the way around. Two adjectives to describe your leadership style.
Servant leadership. Is that can I consider that an adjective?
All right, okay, we'll take that. Servant leadership. Steve?
You want two?
Yeah.
I'd say passion and persistence. So we're going to go out to the membership and,
All right.
and continue to knock on doors.
Thank you, Steve.
I hear Mitch.
All right, and Brad?
Creativeness and aggressiveness.
Wow, I love that. Okay, Mr. Romel?
Yeah, persistence and commitment.
Miss Josephine?
I think since we are in a healthcare industry, I think we our compassion. We have to have compassion in the delivery of our job or task as a board member or a board of director.
So, compassion.
Compassion and commitment.
Commitment. I thought you would say healthy. Okay. Miss Ayik?
So grit and purpose.
Grit. Okay. Miss Sheila?
Engagement
Okay.
and execution.
All right. So Dan?
Vision and passion.
Vision and passion. Okay, Sir Bong?
Passion and fun.
Okay. Jojo?
Fun and commitment.
Okay. Benedict?
Passion and relentless.
Wow, okay. Sir Cuevas?
Rewarding, inspirational.
Wow. Okay. Sir Butch?
I guess passion and commitment.
All right. So Mr.
I think
Salazar?
they have all the adjectives.
No, they don't have that. They don't have the more exciting adjectives. We can talk about
Try
that.
something a little different. Okay. Innovation and integrity.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have heard from our candidates, and if we go by the adjectives that they mentioned, I think either way, whichever it goes, we'll be in good hands. Okay, so thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause for our candidates. One last word, one last announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, the ICCCE, the International Contact Center Conference and Expo, is in January. We're actually selling the tickets now. You can log in to our website. It's iccce.com. Please do not miss the early bird rate, which is only until October 31st of this month. So please do avail of that. And we're actually giving away very affordable ticket prices. Our early bird rate is only 14,000 pesos for CCAP members. It's very affordable, so please log on to iccce.com. Jojo?
And just, picture muna, picture.
Picture mo lang.
Okay, PC.
Alright. Go there.
One more. From the official and professional.
Then walking. Ready? 1, 2, 3, yes, ready. 1, 2, 3, go. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, also just wanted to inform everyone, this is our 10th year of the ICCE. So we really need to celebrate it big time. And that's why I'm asking all the members to really support and participate, either by sending delegates or being part of its sponsors. Thank you to our member sponsors, of course, Sutherland Performance and others. Thank you. So we still welcome those companies who wants to participate as sponsors. Thank you.
Okay, speaking of sponsors, ladies and gentlemen, we have a raffle. 30 our sponsor, and we're raffling off
iPhone 6. Now,
what are we raffling off? Can we see the price? Can we see the price?
The price?
The price. Come on.
The price si Willa. And, ito ba? Oh, can we request it from Globe, please, Sheila or your team to raffle off the Bell and Mike.
All right. We're raffling off a one-way ticket to.
Don't bastard.
Okay.